Welcome guys to part 2 of balancing equations. Again, this stuff gets kind of complicated, so feel free to go back through all the videos, watch them once, twice, as many times as you need to for it to sink in, okay? But without further ado, let's start where we left off, okay? So in the last video, we saw that it wasn't balanced, right? This has 2 H's, this has 2 O's, this has 2 H's, but only 1 O. And that throws it off. It's not balanced, but we can fix it. We can do something about it, okay? Before we do anything about it, let's understand what the balanced version of it would look like. So I'm going to show you, we're going to start right here. And this is actually the balanced version of that same formula we just did, okay? But now we introduce these things called coefficients, which is just the number in front of the actual element itself. So let me get my pen out and let's figure it out. For right now, let's just count it. Let's not even figure out how we got those numbers. Just count them with me, okay? So we're going to make our list again. We're going to go, okay, we're going to do our H. Maybe I'm getting better at this drawing thing. There's H and O. And again, there is H. Doesn't look like it. All right. And there's an H and O, okay? Let's count them together because now it's going to be slightly different. That 2 in front matters, okay? Before, we had the subscript. That tells us that there are 2 hydrogens. Now we have this coefficient. It tells us that there are twice as many hydrogens. So if we already had 2 hydrogens and now there's twice as many, that's a total of 2 plus 2 is 4. So now there's 4 hydrogen total, okay? Oxygen doesn't have a coefficient, so just like math, we pretend that that's 1. So oxygen, there's only 2, and there's only 1 of those, so 2 times 1 is just, there's only 2, okay? And now this is important. This 2, and a lot of you guys mess this up, this 2 applies to everything after it. So for example, we know that there's 2 hydrogens. That 2 tells me that there's twice that many hydrogens. So now there's 2 plus 2. That's a total of 4 hydrogens. And now, again, this is just 1 because it doesn't say anything. So that's going to be, but there's twice as many. So if there was 1 oxygen, now there's 1 times 2. There's a total of 2 oxygens. Yes, so now it's balanced. Now we figured it out. So if we look, H, there's 4. H is 4. Checks out. I'm happy. Oxygen is 2, and then oxygen is 2. I'm happy again. That's exactly what I want. Okay? Now the next part is going to be how do we actually get these numbers? What's happening? How did you get 2? And hopefully that's going to be in the next video, and you can figure it out there. Right? I'm thinking there might be 4 parts now that I look at this. But 2 really important things. That you understand that the subscript applies to everything to the left of it. So there's only 2 H's. And this applies to everything past it, to the right of it. So and then if you're trying to figure out the total, you multiply. The coefficient tells you to multiply. The subscript tells you to count. So there's 2 hydrogens. The coefficient is 2, so I have to multiply. 2 times 2 got me the 4. Okay? Let's stop there, and then I'll begin the next video with this, but then we'll balance it together, and I'll kind of talk you through the logic, all right? Again, if you have questions, email me, and I will help you out.